Sector 2, this is Sector 1. We need to have a conversation later in my office. Yeah, I'd love to cheer your ass out right here, but it'd take way longer than what our fuel tanks would allow, I swear on that. You fly like old turtles, fuck. Sector 2, which is the main thing I want to talk about later. Just come to my office after debriefing. Let's land. Alright, Ace. We need to talk. No. I changed my mind on talking in my office. You head to the hangars where your F-18 is. I'm gonna pick up something from my office. Hey. You're staring at your plane pretty hard, Ace. See something out of the ordinary? Well, good. I had to pick this up to bring up later. It's a personnel file, but let's talk about more pressing matters, Sector 2. Where the hell is the Ace I've heard of? I've heard stories of the pilot who scored ace of aces in their first combat mission. I've heard stories of a pilot taking down entire enemy squadrons by themselves. I've heard that you fly like you are willing to kill the sky itself if it housed anything other than you. I've heard that you were the one who was so good that once Trigger up and disappeared, you were the one who flew Mihai Shalaji's prototype and not him. I've heard, and I've only heard greatness from you. Yet I didn't see any of it today. The pilot I saw today was a pilot who didn't know how to act anymore. The pilot I saw had shown that he had lost who they were. So lost that even I could beat you over and over. You flew like you were scared just to pull G's. You had all the time in the world to lock on, all the opportunities, but you didn't take any of them. Like you were done with flying while we were still in the air. You turned yourself into something small, fragile. You lost your confidence up there. I took a real second look at your file. You never had a call sign until recently. People calling you Ace weren't even officiated, it was given to you haphazardly. Which is kind of the norm, honestly, but in the end, taking your late Wizzo's call sign so late into your career isn't the first thing I'd think to do. I guess ever since she isn't here to back you up anymore, ever since you don't fly with a backseater, you become scared, worried that the overdue divine intervention would finally catch up to you? Or is it something else entirely? From my perspective, Ace, no, I'm not calling you that. From now on, you're Choker, you got that? Good. Cause talking about your late Wizzo while you share the same call sign, confusing as hell. Anyway, from the files, she seemed to be incredibly talented, though a bit troublesome hearing how she got her call sign. I guess it took her a bit to come to terms with only flying on someone else's wings, but once she accepted those terms, she became irreplaceable as your Wizzo. She saved your ass multiple times from wrecking your airframe and landing it in the deep blue down below. I've heard of the way you fly and how damaging it is to your airframes, which initially confused me as to why you didn't just deviate from our squadron's chosen airframe for something better, but looking at how she died in the end explained a lot. Weapons Systems Officer was killed by excessive sustained G-force-induced cerebral hypoxia, causing loss of consciousness, then brain death. Pronounced dead by ground crew upon landing at... Yeah, whatever. You killed her by the way you flew. She's the only person that could even come close to keeping up with you, and you managed to break her with G-forces alone. Shows what kind of monsters we are. Yeah, we. Well, I haven't been entirely honest with you. I did read your file, but the one I'm holding right now isn't yours. It's mine. Take it. Personnel file, Squadron Commander Noah Ratman Ragami. Former ace. Yeah. I was someone like that before Trigger came around. Then you. I got the call sign because, well, initially just because I was small, but I became a bit of a cannibalizer, like the rat I was. I was flying the Felon's two-seater variant, the Su-57 Delta, as an escort for a bomber formation. The mission was to bomb those SAM sites to Kingdom Come. Didn't work out, obviously, as I was too egotistical. Flew first and alone into the site with faulty flare and chaff dispensers. Stupid goddamn mistake. She told me not to fly so brazenly, but I didn't listen. In the end, I cannibalized her to serve my ego. The amount of high G maneuvers I did. I'm not gonna bore you with familiar details. You can read it yourself if you'd like. Hell, you could even keep it, Joker. I've read that thing front and back so many times I could name my own stats and her death details by heart. Look, I'm saying this to say that you're not alone, Joker. I'm saying that there are aces out there like me, you, and even 3 strikes that carry the guilt of being entrusted with a life, then letting it slip out their hands. Well, not just the guilt, but the records too, I guess. Yeah. Joker, losing someone like that, someone so close to us, I can't tell you how to grieve. But I guess I got something, some advice I can give. Embrace the days without her. Fly like she's still back there, because in spirit, she still kinda is. And remember that even back then, your Wizzo is not the only one keeping things in check. Your plane will let you know that she's got your back as well. That's all. You're dismissed.